Well, hello, my darlings. I'm Faith from Faith and Grits, and back with my first video for my daily spread, the collaboration run by Rachel Crafts. So, really excited for this one. I won't go through all the spiel with the kit papers. I'll put some links down below. Please go check them out. The three kit bundles are absolutely lush. All of them are. So please go and check it out. Check out the hashtag MyDailySpread26 for sure. So I'm going to leave that there. And today's prompt was a favorite memory. Now, I couldn't choose one, but a lot of my favorite memories from childhood into adulthood are all centered around creativity in some way and nature. So the botanist route is the one that I want to go down for this collaboration, for sure. So this is the cover that I made in the previous video, and today we are going to look at simple ways of approaching collage. So I do hope you stick around and keep watching, and for you it'll only be just a tick. Well, my darlings, I'm just going to put the camera on and we're going to go for it. So this is what I worked on in my previous video for Rachel. I've done the cover for my little botanist journal, and all stuck down and waxed. So I've put some cold wax on it to protect it. So I'm really loving how textural this feels, and stuck some book corners on. So with Rachel's lovely new kits, I've gone down the botanist route. So I've used the foundation pages and the botanist pages to make some small little signatures to go in here. So I've got my marble paper here that I played with before, and I've just gone in. I've added some eyelets. They're not permanently added. They need to be covered up. I've added some of those. I've added some sewn pockets into the cintas before binding it into the book. So the papers are stunning. Absolutely stunning. And the color palette that you can get from either combinations, the shabby with the foundation or the foundation with the botanicals, it's just gorgeous. So let's have a go. So let me show you what I've pulled out so far. Now, I'm not very good at collage. Sometimes I am if I don't think about it, but most of the time I think about it too much and I fail. So I got to watching some other videos, and I've come up with a little set of rules for myself. So number one, I'm going to choose a focal point. Stick to odd numbers. Always work from the largest to the smallest, and mix some textures up. Don't go overboard. Leave some breathing room around the page, around the collage, and hide something in the collage that's discoverable. So that's the rule set I'm going to try to follow and not overthink. So for my focal point, I've gotten that page out from the botanical kit, and I've already cut the foxglove out and the chamomile out. So these are absolutely beautiful. They need a bit of inking on the side. And then I haven't pulled out loads and loads, just a bit. There is a scrap piece of fabric that was there. That's what I used on that inner spine. Don't know if I'm going to use that. A little bit of embossed paper, some book page, bits of the kit. I've got some handmade paper. That's from the same one. A bit of tea-dye paper. So let's find a space in the book. And I've got down a bit of ribbon, but I haven't gone any farther than that. So if I open up the book, I think I want to do the chamomile first. So let's see if we can find a page in here. And then what kind of hidden element I'm going to do, I don't know. Because there are some, this will be a book for me. So I think for a journal element, I'm definitely going to want to add something in there. I'm going to go for this side. So I got my little hands. I don't normally work in a book that's already bound. Normally I work off the signatures and then I bind the book. So, good chance for me to use these today. So I want some sort of cluster going on there. So I guess I'll just start ripping paper. This is the... Steph makes it look so easy, honestly. And make a background of some kind. I don't want my collages in this book to be too thick because it's quite a small book. So, and then get to inking. Don't lose. So I do want something a little bit more oblong to go in there. You know, a bit of this one, I think. Oh, I got me a new tear ruler. Hold on. Big old monster of a thing here. Let's try this. I like that. You know, sometimes you get like, I'm looking at the book. I want it about so wide. Whether I turn it into a flip, I don't know. That's quite a nice edge on that. It's very sharp. And how tall? So no measuring, just grab my pencil and give myself a little bit of a... So I don't want to cover all of the edges. So I don't know, any of you out there, are you comfortable doing the collage? Is it something that's like me? Do you think, you know, I can accidentally do collage and things come out lovely? And then other times I go back and I think, oh, it's just rubbish. But yeah, it's something I definitely want to do more of. And Steph definitely inspires me over there. And Rach, these papers are definitely inspirational. I think that needs to come down a little bit smaller. And just tear. And we'll ink. I'll do my inking off camera. So I've got that going on there. And I want a little bit of... How could I turn that into... It could be a pocket. I just want edges poking out. I've seen Steph do this quite often as well, where you've just got edges sticking out like that. And what else have I got in here? I quite like the top of that old book page where it says Nature Study. So that can definitely fit in there. And I've got some Edith text. I have the text going that way. And then ink all of this. If I run the text, move that up, no, down a bit. Move that bit up a bit. And have it slightly off center. And again, those odd numbers. Stick with the odd numbers. And it does appeal to the eye better, odd numbers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I want to see a little bit more of Rachel's paper there. Or shall I cut a longer piece? Yeah, let's cut a longer piece. Again, it's just paper. So I ran out about there. So no measuring. I think that's what makes it, some of the collage techniques really appealing as well. Because when it's not measured, you're doing it to the eye, of what is pleasing to your eye. Now, if, you know, having everything bang on is pleasing to your eye, rock and roll. So I am covering up a lot of that page, but I think if I create this as a tuck or flip, once I get it assembled, it'll look more purposeful. Let's get that bit down there. Bit of that sticking up there. Cattywampus. And that in there. And then maybe a bit of trim running through it. Scissors. Honestly. There we go. Stick a pin back in that. Oh, yeah. I like that. So all those edges need to get inked. And for that bit, I think I'm going to put some, ooh, where's it gone? I think I'm going to put, it's quite a bright green. So I think I want to put a little bit of, yes, put a little bit of wax on it. So there. That hasn't been long. A few minutes of me just yabbering away. Yeah, that's knocked the green back a bit. So, yeah, I'm going to get my inks out now and ink these pieces and pop back on camera with you before I stick it all together. So, this is me by the seat of my pants. Let's see what we come up with. Back in a tick. Right, my darlings, I think I've got a plan here. I've got these inked, and let's move the book out the way a minute. So I've got them inked. I took the top, that nature study off the top of that book page. So let's see if we can put these down in some sort of order. I found a tiny version in my fussy cut tray of the exact same botanical. So that can go under. That I will come back to. These have been inked. And yeah, let's glue it together. Yeah, so I know I want to stick. I'm going over a tiny bit on the edge of that, but I don't want to come over too much. So, art. Wakey, wakey, art. So I wanted this one lower down. So no, any words of advice for collage? I don't feel greatly confident doing it, but if I can have me a little set of rules to practice by, perhaps that'll help with my confidence of having a go. I mean, I've done clusters and things like that, but doing, and I know your focal point doesn't necessarily have to be in the middle. Check that against the book and make sure it's not too wide. No, I'm all right. So, let's get this mesh down. I've got posher mesh than this, but it's thicker, and I don't want it to be too thick in this book. Oh, come on, stay put. It will stay put, but bits of glue comes through the mesh. So this will help us stay put. I quite like the hairiness around the corners of that. I will see if I can zoom this video in when I go to edit, because I know I seem to be very far away from where I could see it now. But no, the kits are absolutely stunning. So if you haven't gone to see them, please go and check them out. The foundation kit as well is going to be one of those that you go back to over and over and over and over and over again, for sure. And for me, a lot of these botanicals I'll definitely be going back to a lot. So before I go on with the next step, which was the focal point, I want to be this again was in the botanist kit, and it's a chamomile remedy. And I thought, I wonder if there's a way then I can hide this, because it's going to go left-hand or right-hand page. If I could hide that in there, in a way so it looks like it's part of the collage, but it can be removed. But then what part of that do I need to glue down? Oh, let's give it a go. I want to give it a go. So I need the tippy tips and the bottom corner. Just the tippy tips here. And that bottom corner. Please work. Please work. Please, pretty please. Now, will that fit? That side. A little bit. It's a little bit big. Does that stick out too far? No, not really. I think I could trim that down. Let's have a go. Can I make that the teeniest bit? Yes. Right. Will that fit? And once flattened in the book, it should look like it's part of the collage. It needs inking. Pen in the glue face. Honestly, there. Let's ink this one up. And for the inking, I've used pine cone. I do want this to look colorful, grungy at the same time. So I do plan on adding some different colored inks to it at some point. And not all over me. There we go. Leave that a second. And then if I glue there and there, but I gotta make sure I leave some breathing room behind that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna glue the bottom. I think I've seen Steph do this before, where she just tacked a little bit where she wants it, and then you go back then and add extra where you need it. Because I want to know, is that going to go all the way in there as a hidden writing space? What am I doing wrong now? Yeah, going that way. I wonder if I can saw that back. Where's my little ruler here? Maybe. If I can get it in there a little bit farther. Yep, a little bit on the bottom. And, ooh, happy days. Nearly happy days. How would that go in? Could nick that corner just a little bit more. Go in now. Hey! And then all I've got to do is tack that bit down. Just along there. There we go. Ooh, I'm liking that. There. Simple little rules. And we have a collage. And not one that sticks out. It's not going to create a great deal of bulk, because I've mainly used paper and that thin piece of ribbon. So I've got my collage page. Beautiful colors in this kit, Rach. Absolutely stunning. I'm quite pleased with that. As my first time on camera, on the fly. So I am going to have a second go. So this now will have that removable writing space that looks like it's part of the collage. It sticks up a little bit right now, but the more that's flattened in the book. So I'm going to say a yes, a keeper for this one. So let's get it glued in. So on this page, do I want to glue the whole thing or leave a tuck? Leave a tuck. Or do I want it to be, it has to be, it's going to have to be left-handed because this tag isn't going to pull out going that way. It's only going to pull out going that way. So it'll have to be on this side. So let's get it stuck in. That's a little bit sticky outy. Can it be fixed? Yes, it can. And that bit is a little bit sticky outy, but I think it'll be all right. Yes, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to stick it down and be happy with it. I think I will leave a little bit of a tuck in the back from that side. Yeah. So get the 3 sides. And a bit of that, it's going to be right on the edge against where the spine is, the binding. Here we go. There. I definitely need to make a writing board for this next, because I put those brads in, didn't I? Lovely. So my first proper piece in the book. And then, of course, today's was a favorite memory as well. So I will be adding my own memories to it, tucked away, hidden away, and I'll write the prompt in there somewhere. That needs a little bit more glue. Come on. Hold tight. Little bit. And hold it in place. So I am going to go and raid my papers over here and see what else I can find of Rachel's bits and my bits and see if I can do another one with that foxglove. So give me a tick, my darlings. Right, my darlings. Back. Lots of umming and awing and oohing and what if this and what if that. I started to overthink things again. And then I got stuck on the phone. I was on the phone for ages. So I thought, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to overthink it. Go back to my little set of rules here. So I've got my focal point. Odd numbers, more or less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Large to small, which work. Mix some textures. Breathing room, because the journal is so small, breathing room I think will come like in places like that. But then I've still got areas where I could, like on the bottom of that collage, not interfering with the pocket, I could add more decoration. So, it's something to discover. And we've done that on the first one. This is from that texture piece is this page from the shabby kit that I ran through the embossing folder. Can't see much of the design on there. I can see it. Not so much you can see on camera. But then I've hit it with some inks. So a bit of Edith there, a bit more Rachel's. I've got the foxglove, and I've pulled out that sort of purpley something. We'll see. So, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to do it. So, similar principle. Art, art, art. There we go. Wakey, wakey. And this is going to go on a right-hand page. So, any potential side load I want to be on this side. So let's have a look. Do I want the text going that way? Or that way? No, the other way, I think. So, yeah. Oh, sorry, I muddled myself up there. Yes. So, glue this bit. No, I'm fascinated by the art of collage. I remember my mother had this most amazing piece of collage that she did when she was in university, and I think she still got it. It's in a frame. And just the idea of it, but actually doing it, purposely, actually thinking about it. Like I said, I've done some accidental pieces along my years, but to do it on purpose, I'm just checking that. Yeah, so this one needs, I put that quite a bit over. So this needs to be right on the edge and up a bit. Is that the right way up? I swear, I think Steph does the same thing. It's like, well, where do I go? But like I did before, I think tacking things into place and then going back with something like a bottle like this to secure them is definitely something to think about. Lovely. Now, I'm not going to put the lace through the center of this one. I'm going to save a bit of that. That's a lot of purple. So that's going to go there. A little bit cattywampus with that foxglove in the center. But that needs to go down flat. And that needs to leave an opening to tuck something in. So let's put this down first. Art. And I'm coming to the end of my art now, and it's getting more and more difficult to source over here. So I think I'm going to give Barely Art a try. Oh, I've just poked a hole in it. Ah, man. There we go. Never mind. It's fixable. It's all fixable in the end, isn't it? Oh, I did poke a right hole in it. But sometimes that does happen with the 3D texture embossing folders. Even though I do mist it with water, sometimes it's just, no. I'll glue it to the table. Here we go. That's a start, isn't it? So I didn't find like a recipe card as such in the kit, but you do have the little tags. So I'm thinking it's going to be a right-hand page, so I want to be able to tuck a couple of tags just about there. So let's do this with a pencil this time. So I need that top there glued. All right, yes. And bit just along where that big leaf is. That should work as an opening. You can't see those pencil marks from there, can you? So I basically put a pencil mark there and there. So there's my foxglove, where I want my tags to go in, and I've just put me a pencil mark there and there where I want it glued down. Try that. I think we overestimate sometimes exactly how much glue is needed. because it doesn't actually take that much glue to keep it all in place, especially if you got good glue. So, pinning the glue for a second. And will these fit? Yes. Those will fit in. And I can zhuzh those up later. And then on here, instead of where I did the nature study before, and the smaller one, I want a bit of that lace. Scissors, and I want something like a tea bag. I saved these ages ago, but I keep forgetting about them. I never really craft with them. And then I see other people craft with them, and I'm like, ooh, I take a look at that. So I want a bit of lace. Is that too big? It is a bit big, isn't it? And that. No, chop that down, I think. Chop it down a little bit. Oops. I mean, do you glue tea bags down? Stick that one. I swear, the longer I've had some of these laces, I can't work out which way's up. That's too much. Bit. Tear some more off. Stick that botanical on there. Pull that lace down just a bit. Yeah, I think so. Oh, just do it. I think the more you practice, let's just do it. I think the more you practice, the more intuitive it all becomes. So I'll use my daily spread journal as that place to experiment. At the end of the day, it's mine, and I'm going to add different elements to it that I probably won't share publicly, but the bits I can share, I will. But then have lots of hiding places in the journal for the bits that I don't want to share to the world. So, no. I guess the biggest thing I've learned from this, don't overthink it. I'm going to stick these in. I can do something with those later. So I've got my collage with a little hidden element to discover. So, where am I going to put it? Where, oh where am I going to put it? No, no on there. Come back a bit. And there. I think it's going to go there. But then that is going to create a pocket there. So let's stick it down. Or actually, I'll get it stuck down and tidy all this up and then pop back on with you. So give me just a tick. Right, my darlings, cleared a bit of space here. So let's have a look. So now I'm so chuffed with this cover. This is going to be lovely when it's finished. So I've still got more of the botanical kit papers to try to get in here. So there was our first No, yeah, the collage, second collage that was. Bit of texture there. It's a pocket now, so I've got a little card, and that's come from the kit. I've just printed it onto tea-dye paper. I love that collage page that's in the kit. It's absolutely stunning. I want to add more pops of that through the journal to bring in different colors. So there's your collage. I've got a space at the bottom here where I can add things. I can add something else up there if I want. But then inside the collage, I've got these two little tags that I've inked, and I've given them a little leaf stamp on the back. So pleased with that. Whether I put anything on those, I don't know yet. So then to the first one we did, which was there. So I've got that sort of collage aspect going on. I've added a little flower and a leaf there. You've got that for texture, and then inside the center you have this removable. Oh man, I just glued it down. I've glued it to the flower. Oh man, can I save that? Come on, please. Can I save it? I might be able to save it. Is it going to come out? Oh, I can't believe I did that. Right, let's see if we can. Oh, nearly. Is it going to come out? Ah, I saved it. Yay! Honestly, a metal ruler you can saw glue with. Yeah. There we go. I can't believe I did that. I glued it down flat. Oh, never mind. Get a bit of ink on it. It's all fixable. It's all fixable. There we go. And that never happened. So, that now is your little hidden journal element to go in there. I didn't even think about that when I glued that flower on. And again, I've stuck a card in the back from the kit onto some tea stain paper. That's sticking out a little bit farther. I might make it shorter. But as you can see, because I've left the spine soft, I've got a lot of room to add tabs. If you can see, I've got lots of room to add elements on my edges here, because as the book then fills up, I've got a lot of room. So no, I'm really pleased with that. So this is my video for the 4th for favorite memory and layered collage. So going back again to those little elements, I'm going to stick this up on my wall in here somewhere with blue tack, and when I ever start doubting myself, I'm going to come back to it. So for me, Faith from faithngrits, thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you, Rach, for inviting me to be part of the collaboration. I'm really excited to see how this evolves. So, that's all for me. So, I hope to see you back again soon. Bye for now.